If you're posting videos, but your inbox is still completely dry or empty, then this video is going to explain to you exactly why. Because most entrepreneurs, they think, and I've seen this time and time again, they think that it's the flashy, super high edited videos or the viral shorts that are going to bring in the most clients for you. And just this quite simply is just not the case. The highest converting video that I've ever made, and also I've seen this trend with clients of mine too, was one of the lowest viewed, most boring videos on my channel. And I now know what video to double down on, even though it might not do the best in terms of vanity metrics, but it does the best in terms of revenue generated because I track the revenue generated. In this video, it didn't go viral. It barely cracked 1,000 views, but it brought in more high quality leads than anything else I've ever posted. And it was one of the videos that were most targeted to my ideal buyer. And what I want to do today is show you how you can model the exact same thing so that you can turn your next upload into a lead magnet the same way I have a video like that constantly generating me leads. Now, if you're watching this video, you've likely been in one of the following buckets I'm about to mention. So first of all, and just from talking to so many of you, I've found that most of you probably post reels or try to do trendy content or post value bombs, but still no one books calls or no one opts in to your lead magnet or your offer, whatever it is. The other thing that I come across a lot is that your videos might be getting comments, but not any conversions. Like people seem interested in what you're creating, but no conversions are coming from it. And then also maybe you've tried the content hacks, but you just can't crack the client consistency part of it, right? The bringing in consistent leads. And it's because you're chasing attention and not alignment. And there is a massive difference there, massive. But before I tell you basically how to fix this and the reason for it in the first place, I want to first provide you guys as much value. It's my whole goal with the channel, as much value for free as possible. So I actually created a custom trained AI GPT in YouTube strategy and business strategy in terms of a content business, which you guys can have completely for free as almost like your personal AI assistant to help you, again, completely for free. And if you guys want that, you could basically go and check it out in the link in the description below. I hope it brings you guys a ton of value. Now, getting back to the task at hand, the real reason and most likely the reason that your content's not converting is probably because most entrepreneurs are creating for, as I said, views, vanity metrics, right? Instead of creating for buyers, for your ideal client profile. And the videos that bring in clients most of the time are rarely the sexiest videos. They're usually the most strategic, the most value driven to a specific person. And these videos, like people get so lost in the micro of content creation and this whole YouTube game. Zoom out. I highly recommend you zoom out and view things from a bird's eye perspective, the bigger picture, right? The macro, and see that like it's not about the best edited content. You don't need crazy editing. It's not about having the funniest or most witty content. It's not about having the most amount of views or reaching the largest total addressable market or basically the biggest amount of groups of people that you can possibly reach. It's not about any of that. It's the one that answers the painfully specific problem that your ideal buyer has and that your ideal client is actively searching for. So I'm going to break down for you exactly the bird's eye kind of structure or checklist or ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, that I go through to create these types of videos. These lead engine video archetypes that are high converting, but low effort, to be totally frank. It sounds too good to be true, but it's genuinely the case. And the first thing that I always do is I look at the title and the topic, basically the packaging, and I make sure that that is not crazy designed or designed for the most like colors or contrasting colors or whatever. I simply focus on creating either curiosity or hitting on a pain point that is focused to my ideal buyer. It's that simple. For example, I could do a title saying how to create a $5,000 a month offer without posting daily. And maybe the thumbnail could be like no subs, $5,000 a month. Now, the next thing I always try to do is make sure it's somewhat searchable or really recommendable, meaning people will recommend it. So what we want to do is we want to keep this mid to high intent topics that people are really trying to search for or look for, again, but really fundamentally nailing down and making sure that it is in the world or sphere of searchability that your ideal client is searching for, things that they're searching for, problems they're searching for. And then I make sure as well that there's clear structure and that there's clear value to it. Like this right now, I'm giving you guys clear structure of what I go through, and I'm gonna even jump into my iPad and show you even more. And I'm gonna provide a lot of value by doing it as well. And then I like to keep the call to action native. Actually, again, sometimes I break this rule. Pretty frequently I break this rule. But basically what this means is the call to action is on the platform YouTube itself rather than taking them off platform. This does a few things that I'm going to explain in a second when we jump into my iPad. But again, I do break this rule sometimes because sometimes I just want to be straight with everyone. Just like, hey, go to my offer if you're interested. But for the most part, in most of my videos, I do keep the call to action native at first. And again, we'll explain this in a bit, but this is really exactly what I help creators do or entrepreneurs do inside of Content OS, which is going to be linked in the description below. Now, what this actually looks like all together, what I call the Content OS YouTube flywheel. So now we're going to jump into my iPad and I'm actually going to explain this YouTube flywheel and you're going to see exactly what I mean by this. So right here, what we're looking at is the YouTube flywheel. And essentially the way this concept works is, traditionally speaking, you might just have a normal YouTube video like this, right? And that normal YouTube video might have a couple call to actions inside the video that lead people directly to your funnel or your conversion mechanism, whatever that is for you. Maybe it's a landing page, whatever it is for you. Most of the time I see people just having a normal YouTube video like this, and it's going directly to that conversion mechanism, whatever it is for you, right? For me, it's a landing page straight to my offer. But instead, what I've learned is a rule that Google has put out, and it basically states that people need to watch at least 7 hours of your content, or basically at least consume, and again, give or take this with a grain of salt, but on average, Google has after, I mean, the study was with like 1 billion hours of content or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but basically it states that people need to watch at least 7 hours of content from you before actually purchasing. So what I've found when I was having the system in place where I was taking them straight from this normal YouTube video that was about 10 minutes long, straight to my lead magnet or my conversion mechanism, which was my landing page, my funnel where they could book a call and actually join my program. What was happening was I was getting really, really low quality leads. I was getting a lot of no-shows on the sales calls, and our close rate was really low. These were the things that I was commonly seeing happen when I was doing this. I think that it's for a few different reasons. One of the reasons being that people are only watching 10 minutes of your content. They're interested in making money on YouTube, so they click on my back-end offer. They're like, yeah, this seems interesting, I'll book a call, but they're not nearly to the point of being qualified, which is why this is happening. And that's where this whole flywheel, this whole Content OS YouTube flywheel comes into play here. So basically what we're doing is, instead of having our normal YouTube video going straight to our conversion mechanism, in my case, a landing page, what I'm doing is I'm creating a free training, right? So I create this free training that is normally about an hour long, around there, give or take. You can make it around 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but I like to keep it around an hour. And I like to provide as much value as possible in this free training. And what I do now is on every single normal YouTube video that I create, every single normal YouTube video like this, what I'm doing is at the very end of the video, I'm having something called an end screen call to action right here at the end of the video. And the purpose of this is to take them to my free training instead of taking them straight to my landing page. So at the end of this video, let's say I'm talking about how I studied 1,000 YouTube outliers. I could say, listen, this was just one of the many different strategies that I've taught you. And honestly, it's kind of useless if you don't know the full A to Z blueprint on how to grow on YouTube. And you can watch a completely free 1-hour training that I created on this topic. And you could do that by clicking on this video next. That is an example of how I would end this normal YouTube video with an end screen call to action to go into my YouTube flywheel or my YouTube ecosystem, which leads them to this free training. Now, a few things happen when they go to this, right? One is not everyone's going to go to it, but that's good because this is now going to create more value with your ideal buyer. So they're now getting more value from you because they got value from this first YouTube video enough to click into your free training. And this free training, of course, is going to deliver a ridiculous amount of value as well. Not only that, but they're converting with us for longer, right? Meaning there's more trust being built, right? And we live in a trust recession. So the more trust that we can build, the higher likelihood we are to close somebody into a client. And then thirdly, the third thing that happens here is we're actually getting pushed by YouTube, right? And the reason this is happening is because if we look at what YouTube's main goal is, it's to keep people on the platform for longer. So if we're creating normal YouTube videos like this with an end screen call to action, and that call to action is to go into another one of our YouTube videos, YouTube's looking at this video right here and saying, oh, their end screen click-through rate, which is an analytic that exists, is very high, right? They are keeping people on YouTube for longer with this piece of content, meaning YouTube's now going to push this video to more people. And we're kind of working the system because taking people off platform with this video, it doesn't really matter because what's happening is we're still having this first normal YouTube video that's getting pushed by YouTube. And inside of this free training, we want to have multiple call to actions to our landing page or to our main funnel, right? Because what's happening here is we're providing a ton of value and then we should have basically a call to action, right? We're providing a ton of value and then a call to action. Ton of value, call to action, ton of value, call to action. And that call to action should be to go into your funnel or whatever that conversion mechanism is for you, right? And then from here, ideally, this is optimized as much as possible so that we can now convert that person into a booked call and then into a sale. But ultimately, whatever it is, application to book call or whatever, it turns into an actual sale, right? Money in your pocket. So this is how we can turn viewers into dollars. I have found this to be the most powerful way to do it because, as I said, it builds more value, it builds more trust, and we're actually getting pushed by YouTube while kind of working the system. That being said, one thing I want to mention that happened since doing this was since we did this, we got less traction to our actual sales funnel, but we're making more money, which is great because I have a sales rep and I don't want him spending all day on calls that aren't converting, wasting his time. I'd rather have less calls that convert. So what's happening is we're actually getting through this ecosystem, we're actually getting less traffic to our sales funnel, but we have more qualified leads. We have a higher close rate and also our no-shows have gone down exponentially. We're getting very few no-shows on calls. So this little flywheel here is amazing. Now, one thing that you're going to want to do when you create this free training is you're going to want to make sure that you put it basically as a pinned video on your YouTube channel. So if we're looking here, let me just erase this so I can illustrate this better for you. If we're looking at this right here, this is a screenshot of my channel, right? These all right here are just normal day-to-day YouTube videos, right? So this is a screenshot of my channel. So what I would want to do is I would want to take all of these videos right here, which are just normal YouTube videos, and I would want to make sure that I have my free training here so that when I'm on my homepage on YouTube, my homepage right here, I have this free training as the main video people see when they come to my channel. And then every single one of these normal YouTube videos right here, the end screen call to action on all of these is straight to my free training, right? So what happens is now we're taking all of these videos and we're just pushing them all as our main call to action at the end of the videos into our free training. And this is exactly how I would set this kind of flywheel or Content OS YouTube flywheel up. This is how I've done it with clients of mine and how I've also done it for myself. And it's generated a stupid amount of leads from low viewed videos. Now, inside of Content OS, this is what we literally build together. We build a content engine where each video is focused on driving trust, on alignment, and bringing in inbound leads to you. So if you're tired of the hamster wheel of YouTube and not seeing the results, and you want a smarter YouTube strategy, a smarter way to bring in revenue through YouTube, then I highly suggest you click the link below to learn more details about how I can help you with Content OS. Now, with that being said, remember, you don't need a viral video. You need one very aligned video that says the exact thing that your dream client is searching for. With that being said, guys, I just want to reinforce a few things, which is remember, views and vanity metrics do not equal value or conversions. The right video with the right problem for the right person, That is how you simply build demand and an acquisition engine for your business. And the final thing I want to leave you with is flashy content just impresses people. Strategic content converts them. I hope you guys genuinely have received an insane amount of value from this video. If you guys are interested in my completely free custom trained AI GPT or checking out how we can help you at Content OS, then please go check out those links in the description below. With that being said, guys, as always, I hope this was helpful and I'm rooting for you.